Thank you, and thank you for doing God's work, I swear. All right, we will move on now to item number 23, responding to the Probation Oversight Commission's recommendation to safely depopulate Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall. It is 2:30. We're going to be going into closed session, so what I would ask is at about 3:45, can we find out where, I mean, if it's not wrapped up and discuss, because we've got to go into closed session on some time-sensitive matters as well. So why don't we go ahead, Supervisor Horvath?
I think it's fine.
I'm sorry, Supervisor Hahn?
Yeah, thank you. And this is quick, right? And thank you, Supervisor Horvath, for co-authoring this motion. As we know, the county is facing an ongoing emergency at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall. We declared that as a state of emergency. And then, as we know, April 18th, Judge Espinoza ordered the LA County Probation Department to come up with a plan to safely and quickly reduce the population at Los Padrinos. In response to the ruling, our Probation Oversight Commission, made up of our appointees on this commission, held a special meeting on April 24th where they discussed the depopulation of Los Padrinos and unanimously approved a set of recommendations to send to the Chief Probation Officer. The Probation Oversight Commission is a diverse committee made up of lawyers, former probation officers, law enforcement, and people with lived incarceration experience. They have a broad and extensive knowledge base and are entrusted by our board to provide transparent oversight of our probation department. The fact that they unanimously agreed on 8 recommendations for reducing the population at Los Padrinos demonstrates their strong unity behind these recommendations. And I think it's important that our Chief Probation Officer respond publicly and transparently to the recommendations that Commission worked very hard on. So this motion just directs our Chief Probation Officer to assess the Commission's depopulation recommendations and to respond with his assessment. He should explain which recommendations he's already implementing, which can be implemented, and if there are recommendations he disagrees with, and he should explain why. Some people may be wondering why I brought this motion forward today after the Probation Department already submitted their initial depopulation plan to Judge Espinoza on Friday. But I think, colleagues, the efforts to bring the population down at Los Padrinos are ongoing and will not end with this initial plan to do it. We are continuously trying to reduce the number of youth who are incarcerated in LA County. And I think our POC's recommendations are a solid blueprint for how we can do that. There are many parts of the Probation Oversight Commission's recommendation that support safely releasing more youth to the community, something that many of us on this board have been advocating for a long time. For example, one of the recommendations is to reassess detained youth in partnership with other departments and community teams to see if they can be returned to court for release with supportive programs or even ankle monitoring. Another recommendation involves reducing inflow into Los Padrinos by reforming our intake division. These types of recommendations are important to pursue, even with the depopulation plan that our department already submitted to the judge. Our department's plan relies heavily on shuffling youth from Los Padrinos to other probation facilities, and the department's plan projects a reduction from 278 to 175 at Los Padrinos. And I believe that there is an opportunity to go beyond that. I mean, even the 278 to 175 is moving 103 youth from Los Padrinos, but our population has already gone up to 285, which now brings the lower number up to 182. In fact, we were at 299 also a couple weeks ago. So I think that number keeps going up, and I think we should strive to figure out more ways to reduce the population. I really would like to see the population at Los Padrinos go down fewer than 100. And I think our Probation Oversight Commission recommendations to depopulate Los Padrinos could help us get there. And I think, you know, our commission deserves to have our Chief Probation Officer talk to them. And if he feels there needs to be education on why their recommendations are not doable, I think it's important that they hear that and that the public understand why they're not reasonable or operative. And because I think our commission will continue to want to depopulate. Our commission is going to continue to want to find ways to, get more youth out of our facilities. And if they're going down the wrong path with these recommendations, I think it's important that they understand why or how they can't work. I think they can work, but I think it's important that the chief explain to them the different responses. So this motion just will direct our probation department to respond to them in a transparent and public manner. And I think as we're going through this emergency, it's in the press every day. The public wants to know what's going on at Los Padrinos. And I just think this will help everyone get on the same page as we move forward to depopulate our juvenile facilities. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Horvath.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to Supervisor Hahn for bringing forward this motion and inviting me to co-author. I am deeply concerned, as I have been for some time, about the conditions faced by our youth in custody, including at the facilities in my district. I'm equally frustrated by the probation department's leadership, lack of communication and engagement with the community, and what I see as willful dismissal of board directives to do so. I recognize this frustration is shared by community stakeholders, community-based organizations that provide critical services and programming for our youth in our care, and with our commissioners on the Probation Oversight Commission and Juvenile Justice Coordinating Committee. I want to second my colleague in emphasizing what the Probation Oversight Commission's recommendations are and what they are not. First, the POC is well-versed in probation's practices, procedures, and policies, as well as the data to understand what the options for depopulation might be. Second, the recommendations were approved unanimously, meaning that POC members who previously served in law enforcement agreed with POC members who have backgrounds in advocating for youth justice reform, and they all came to a consensus on these recommendations. Third, the recommendations do not call for the outright release of youth in probation's custody. Instead, they ask probation, as this board has in the past, to carefully reassess youth to ensure that only those who must be detained are detained. The unanimity of these recommendations is a reflection of the seriousness with which the members of the Probation Oversight Commission, who are among the county's experts in juvenile justice, view the current conditions of Los Padrinos. I also want to take a moment to highlight and level set on why the Chief's global plan has been so poorly received by county departments, by the service providers and probation facilities, the Probation Oversight Commission, and other stakeholders. And I mention this as aspects of this plan were submitted in response to the judge's critique. Critics of the plan all highlight three major areas of concern: concerns about probation's lack of communication with key stakeholders, concerns about probation's ability to make these changes without putting young lives at risk, and substantive concerns about whether probation's proposed facilities really are the right place for the populations who need to be moved. Taking probation's lack of communication first, much like the global plan, the depopulation plan was not shared with any of the stakeholders I mentioned in advance of submission to the court. The plan, as I understand it, would go forward with many of the controversial aspects of the global plan and would do so under what I believe is the guise of a court order rather than a public planning process. Despite the fact that this board instructed probation by a 4-to-1 vote to commit to transparency in developing its plan, this completely undermines transparency and cuts the public out of the process. Turning to whether probation can actually do this successfully, one of the primary reasons key stakeholders are concerned about whether probation can do this is that these changes require significant shifts in the operations of several county departments and multiple CBOs, which provide programming in probation's facilities. These changes will potentially impact emergency planning, traffic, and the day-to-day concerns of local cities and jurisdictions that surround the facilities, some of which have been impacted by the fires. It is not at all clear that probation collaborated with county departments like DHS, DMH, and LACO to figure out if it's even feasible to move supporting services around in this way in such a short period of time. It is clear, however, that the supporting infrastructure, classrooms, medical treatment space, mental health treatment space, programming space at Kilpatrick, for example, is not currently designed to house girls and gender-expansive youth, to care for potentially pregnant youth, to provide supportive services for pre-dispo youth who may only briefly be in custody, or to provide family visits in the mountains above Malibu. Frankly, the same questions exist at Barry J and several other facilities. Planning for successful changes to these types of operations takes a tremendous amount of coordination among county partners, and probation simply does not have a positive track record of the kind of collaboration and project management required to do this well. So I want to stress how much I appreciate the Probation Oversight Commission consideration of where there might be places to house youth as probation tries to address this crisis. I appreciate their commitment to trying to support our youth through this process. It is fair to say that none of these choices are ideal, but the Probation Oversight Commission made a significant effort to engage with county stakeholders and to do so publicly in a way that we simply have not seen from our own department. So the resulting recommendations, I believe, should be considered seriously for that reason alone. And again, I thank Supervisor Hahn for creating this opportunity for us to have the conversation and highlight it. Thank you.
Supervisor Mitchell?
Thank you. I appreciate that there's a deep concern about the global plan the department brought forward, but I just want to clarify that the global plan and the court-ordered plan are two separate plans. The court-ordered plan was, you know, to meet the specifications of what the judge asked for, so it's two separate documents. The clarification from you, Supervisor Hahn, since the plan has been submitted to the court, is it your desire with this motion that the chief probation officer appear at probation oversight and
Yes,
particularly discuss the issues that contradict each other in their 8 recommendations and his plan that's already been submitted to the court?
I think just the 8 recommendations, I think it warrants him explaining which ones maybe he's already doing. He can't change the plan, right? We've submitted it. The judge will rule on whether or not the plan is sufficient. My point is, it is not over in terms of depopulation after this plan. Our numbers keep going up. I want to see less and less young people incarcerated if we can. So I think it's important that he, you know, meets with them and says which ones are doable and which ones are not doable, for whatever reason.
I appreciate that, and I completely agree. I think we do have the opportunity to go beyond those numbers. And to get there, I'd like us to stem the tide of new young people entering the facilities. As we look at those numbers, we were talking about release. And so that is going to require a conversation with the district attorney. That is going to require a conversation with the courts. I'm not always sure that they are in alignment with our Care First philosophy. And so while we are squeezing on probation and looking at every opportunity in terms of release into appropriate supported community settings with DYD providing wraparound, stemming the tide, because we have seen an uptick in the length of stay, the kinds of cases that are being remanded, you know, to custody, and I think the DEA has a role to play in that, as well as juvenile courts. I know the presiding judge says, well, you can tell me your perspective, but we've got multiple courts. So I'm hoping that we can figure out how to engage in a conversation with them as well, to stem the tide of those entering the system. So I just wanted to be clear about your intention, since at least this plan has already been submitted to the court, which does not preclude him and the other county departments which need to engage in a meaningful way, because they all have a role to play in the global plan. Perhaps not wait for probation to come to you. How about y'all go to probation and figure out what your collaborative role could play? That still has to come before us.
I appreciate, Madam Chair, may I respond? Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I think what is in flux for me always is the population increase, which again, we were up at 299 a couple of weeks ago. We were at 285 recently. So the plan is to get us in compliance, right? So the lower we can get, the more likely we will have the staffing that will keep us in compliance at the next inspection. So for me, The probations department just gets us down to, 103 if it all works out and if all the transfers work out. And by the way, a lot of the transfers are going to take BSCC to approve them to house predisposition kids. So there's a lot in flux.
It is.
With this plan and with us being in compliance. So I'm interested in getting that number down as even lower than what he submitted. And I agree with you. We've got to look at the intake. And I think it takes all of us working with the courts, trust me, I speak to the DA on a regular basis about our young people that are incarcerated.
And not trying them as adults. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Executive Officer, please call those members of the public that have signed up to speak on this item.
Will the following individuals please come forward and staff will assist you? Albert Gomez, Alicia Bridgeford, Baird Cole, Bonnie Rendon Rodillo, Brooke Harris, Brooklyn Love, Demaria Player, Deanna Pittman, Dolores Canales, Amari Wallace, Emily Paz, Erasmo Reyes, Ernesto Sanchez, Frankie Lozano, Helen Agenberg, Ian Kirksey, Jacob Jackson, Jade Green, Jazara Holiday, Jamie Rojas.
Thank you. We're going to do in person before we go to those that called in, because I know y'all have been here all morning.
Madam Chair, based on the number of agenda items, and to make sure that we get done with the remaining of the agenda, we have about 50 or so speakers, so we're recommending that we limit the time limit to about 50 minutes up to 3:45
Okay,
p.m.
that's fine. Go ahead.
Please begin.
Good afternoon, Albert Gomez with RAMP. Just wanted to thank you for having us here today. We have, in the last month, got 4 houses in addition to the one we had to house youth. And as we were hearing, the funding and so forth for other community-based organizations is a challenge, and it's sometimes very difficult to get. We would like to align with you. We have housing in Mrs. Solis's area and also in Horvath's area, San Fernando Valley and City Terrace. And again, we're looking for an opportunity to partner with you, to meet with you one-on-one, to see how we can grow or provide an option to incarcerating youth, both women and men. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Brooke Harris. I'm the Executive Director of the California Youth Defender Center, and I'm a member of the Probation Oversight Commission. I'm here today to ask that you all vote yes to the motion put forth by Supervisors Hahn and Horvath to direct the probation chief to assess the recommendations that we made to depopulate Los Padrinos. The county must detain fewer youth. It's possible to do this safely, and in fact, it's the only way to bring any county pre-detention facility into compliance. The probation department currently refuses to engage in a plan that actually reduces the number of young people detained and instead sticks to versions of its global plan which does not have the support of probation staff, the POC, or community experts. Our motion is a common sense approach that reflects the wisdom of the POC, youth justice experts, who agree on several paths that the probation department can take to better serve youth in their care. Please vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Erasmo Reyes. I am one of the co-founders of RAMP Los Angeles, which is Restorative Academic Mentorship Program. As my colleague Albert stated, we are here to come alongside you guys. I myself am system impacted. I was tried as an adult at the age of 16. I ended up in Pelican Bay State Prison, did time in the Corcoran Shoe program. I am now 52 years old. I am one of the leading design build companies in Los Angeles. I've been out for 22 years. We currently have some homes in Sherman Oaks, Mission Hills, in Mrs. Solis's neighborhood, El Sereno, and City Terrace, where we're gonna come with the women's home, house 16 women. We have the capacity to house.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Ernesto Sanchez, and I'm a supervisor for Healing Dialogue in Action for the Credible Messengers. I'm overseeing the Campus Kilpatrick site. And I work with these youth every day, and I live the role that they have. I know what change looks like and what it takes to get there. We support the POC recommendation, youth who are ready to come home, who deserve that chance. And those who need more work deserve care, structure, and hope. Keeping CVK open helps youth stay on a steady path, but overcrowding BJN or merging facilities risk repeating past harm. There are also stronger oppositions to moving the girls to CVK. We support relocating them to 30 Kirby, where they'll get support there. This is personal, and I believe in our youth. And if we want safer communities, we must lead with healing and not fear.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Deanna Pittman, here with the Young Women's Freedom Center, and we're in support of item 23. We just want to ask that how is it that the first step in probation's depopulation plan for Los Padrinos to depopulate a facility all the way across town? Probation is being reprimanded by the courts, yet they're using Judge Espinosa's order as a vessel to carry out their global plan. The POC released a solid plan to safely depopulate. So not only should we be directing the chief to assess the plan, we should also be mandating him to implement these changes, because by now we know that the chief is gonna do as the chief wants to do. We have some community-based alternatives that we have shared with you all, and we have some alternatives that are real and rooted in community, and we just want you to know that we're here to support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Demaria. I'm a formerly incarcerated system-impacted youth and intern at YWFC. I just feel like it's absurd how we fail our youth time and time again. The rapes and $4 billion sexual abuse lawsuits in probation's care wasn't enough for y'all to know that these facilities are unfit. Y'all pay to hush us, then want to place our youth in far places to isolate them. I fail to understand the goal. It can't be to replenish the minds of our youth when y'all already are causing so much harm, physically, mentally, emotionally. Probation's had time to come up with a plan that they've wrongly executed. There was more cons than pros. They didn't gather information needed from the people who can and actually want to help these kids. They came up with something quick to get out the way. Furthermore, my team has a rapid release and reduction strategy for incarcerated girls, including interagency teamwork, case review, warrant reforms, and we have a $1,000 stipend for reentry support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Brickley. I'm with the Young Women's Freedom Center. I want to begin by acknowledging what most of us already know. There are countless risks associated with this global plan and their depopulation plan, especially as probation continues to overlook the voices of the youth in our communities. We're not here just to criticize. We have real actionable solutions. Our rapid release and reduction strategy presents a clear community-led alternative that prioritizes healing, family support, and true accountability over incarceration. I'm here to express my full support for the implementation of POC's recommendations. I urge you to vote in favor of this motion and adopt this plan being forwarded by POC. By not agreeing to this motion, it shows the community, your commitment to our community is being not thoughtful. How much of your role is in the community is not dependable. Do your job so we can do ours. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, Helen Eigenberg. I live in SD3. Thank you, Supervisor Hahn and Horvath, for this motion. I want to thank all the people with lived experience and impacted communities who show up month after month and tell you what is happening. It feels like no one's hearing them. I support this motion. I will also encourage the board to be brave and motion to fully adopt the POC recommendations, which I wholeheartedly support. For way too long, it feels like we have lost sight of the fact that these are our youth, kids who deserve our urgent attention to help them heal and learn and grow in positive ways. The chief's flawed depopulation plan has been devised in a correctional framework. This is not what our youth deserve. If we move forward with this depopulation plan, we will have moved away from YJR and Care First model. Think about that. Please hold the chief accountable. Do not allow him to move forward with his depopulation plan, but with the POC's recommendation. This is our last chance. Do we continue to fail our youth and cause more harm, or do we move forward with the POC's thoughtful and workable
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Imari Wallace. I'm here representing District 2. I'm a part of Youth Justice Coalition. I'm here to address the urgent issues within the juvenile justice system. I demand the immediate halt of transfers to Malibu and strongly oppose probation's global plans, which fails to address the true needs of our youth. I demand alternative solutions that are more compassionate and effective and provide support for girls and gender-expansive youth to ensure their safety and development. Facilities like Los Padrinos are unstable, and they exist. They're abusive. I have witnessed family members and friends that have suffered abuse within the juvenile system. Instead of providing help, the system inflames their harm through consistent relocations and stripping of their resources. It is crucial that we work together to develop a supportive system for our youth. Thank you for your attention. I demand that.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
My name is Toya Green, Jay Green. I'm with Youth Justice Coalition. Many people here have already talked about some of the solutions and urging that the POC, we go with the POC's recommendations. I'm just gonna read off some of the alternatives, some things that we're already doing right now, just to kind of inspire you guys, right? So we developed this, that we have a thing called like YES teams, YES empowerment teams, modeled after transformative justice pods. And basically it's to provide an alternative to incarceration as a mechanism for rapid release and the depopulation of Los Padrinos. How we work is gonna be five ways to identify relationships and making connections, establishing a community care team, coordination with key stakeholders, monitoring progress, challenges, and making adjustments, and increasing youth agency and connection with growth opportunities. I can send this plan to you guys, so you guys can take a look at it, so y'all can get some motion and put this money where it's supposed to go, which is with these YES teams. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I am a youth organizer at Young Women's Freedom Center. I am 24 years old and formerly system impacted. I am here today to discuss about the item 23. We support the motion of Supervisor Hahn. This motion is much needed. We encourage you to adopt and actually fully implement it instead of shuffling and depopulating the youth. Y'all should be giving youth benefits and resources, start repeating trauma and history, break the probation, break the cycle, and the probation has a plan. Well, we have a plan too. Our plan is to heal the youth, not punish them. This strategy challenges incarceration and build.
Next speaker, please.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jazara Holiday with Youth Justice Coalition. I'm here to tell you to stop probation's global plan. Do not transfer these youths to Malibu. Our Liberation Fund group has been fighting to free the 50 girls and gender-expansive youth who are still regularly incarcerated in LA County in violation of the board's 2021 resolution to end our incarceration for gender-expansive youth. 99% of the gender-expansive youth have been deemed eligible for release. The only reason they're still locked up is because of lack of placement. Probation has entered a $4 billion settlement because of the child sexual abuse that happened in its facilities. There are alternatives to incarceration that didn't exist in 2021 that are in place now, like Beloved, family finding, rapid release, pathways, and placement options close to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
How y'all doing? Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Jackson with the Youth Justice Coalition, and I represent District 2. We are demanding that you stop transfer to Malibu and reject probation's so-called global plan. Let's be clear. Probation is not safe or trustworthy system. This department just entered into a $4 billion settlement because of a widespread sexual abuse that took place in its own facilities. That is not just a failure, it's a crisis. Probation has been given grace, mercy, multiple chances to changes, yet continue to do the opposite of what it claims it stands for. It's disturbing how hidden abuse and misconduct continue to be exposed. This is not a staffing problem. This is a structural and cultural problem. Probation already receives one of the largest budget in Los Angeles County. Over 54% of the LA County budget goes to law enforcement service, and yet we are told that they don't have the capacity or resources to treat young people with care and dignity. That is unacceptable. This is a deep problem that priorities and training of the probation officers, their actions show a lack of accountability and integrity.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Bonnie Rendon Radio. First and foremost, I would like to thank Supervisor Mitchell and Supervisor Hand for visiting the facility at Los Padrinos. My niece is currently being housed at Dorothy Kirby. I'm in support. My niece was previously housed at Los Padrinos and moved to Dorothy Kirby. Another move would negatively impact her positive programming, as well as other youth that are housed there, She has built relationships with Young Women's Freedom Center and various other community organizations working with the youth. I am asking for the support of this motion as someone who has been personally affected by the Chief's Global Action Plan. Thank you all for your time today.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Dolores Canales. I vote yes in support of this motion, and I would just like to mention Supervisor Mitchell, as you mentioned in the courts, with the systems, with the DAs, and one of our key recommendations of our comprehensive reform is the division to reduce the inflow of new youth and uphold the goals and mandates of the Welfare Code and institutions of Youth Justice Reimagined. So that is implemented in this motion. Another thing that I'd like to mention is on several occasions, the chief has said this is a facilities plan, even, rather proud of it, and totally leaving out the fact that these facilities are holding young lives. These facilities have young lives in cages, and the room is full of solutions, which you've heard. And not once has the chief incorporated their solutions. So please, please take this motion into serious consideration, and I ask for your yes vote. From somebody that looks into the eyes of these youth, that right now the youth are questioning what is gonna happen to them because they do not even know.
Thank you. Will the following individuals please come forward and staff will assist you? Jeff Hines, Jessica Solis, Jamel Carter, Jorge Garcia, Jose Soto, Julio Falcon, Kalila Williams, Callie Matthews, Kent Mendoza, Laquel White, Luis Pizarro, Lupita C., Megan Castillo, Michael Arreguio, Natalie Segura. We will now go to remote speakers. Moderator, can we have the first speaker, please?
Lena Mallett, your line is open. You may begin.
Good afternoon, Lena Mallett with the Children's Defense Fund, and lay up in support of this motion, though we would have wished to see more bravery from the board by motioning instead to fully adopt the POC recommendations. As to Horvath and Hahn have rightly indicated, the chief has made clear that he intends to initiate and expedite the most controversial and harmful aspects of the facilities plan collapsed into a 30-day timeline. Yes, Supervisor Mitchell, in theory, the depopulation plan and global plan are two separate documents, but if you read through them both, the contents are nearly identical. Not to mention the department has already begun reducing the population at both Camps Page and Kilpatrick. They are moving right under your nose. The facilities plan, even in its original multi-year timeframe, would be disastrous, but I can hardly even fathom the kind of deep, irreparable harm and chaos that would ensue in a shortened timeframe. The department is relying on failed tactics and unsubstantiated assumptions. Shuffling staff and youth does not equate to increased staffing capacity. Yes, we need to look at intake and front intervention. In fact, we have met with your offices, with your justice deputies, to present data.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Reform, and no one has tried to.
Tanya Ibanez, your line is open. You may begin.
Yes, I am Tanya Ibanez, and I live in District 2, and I'm in favor of item number 23. For the last year, I have been attending POC meetings, and I believe it was in October or September, but the Chief Deputy Epps told the POC members and the public that youth files were being reviewed with a view of releasing well-behaved and less violent youth. Since then, Ms. Epps is no longer with the probation department, and the POC and the public were never informed as to the outcome of that review. It seems that every time I attend a POC meeting, the probation department has lots of questions that it needs to answer, but there's never really any forthcoming answers. It's shocking to me that the Board of Supervisors even has to ask that the probation department respond to POC's recommendations. This should have been done. It's a no-brainer. Please support item number 23. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Eba Lay, your line is open. You may begin.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. My name is Eba Lay. I am the president of Home Systems Learning, and we serve 170 African American and Latino male youth who are on probation and gang involved. We have a 24/7, 15,000 square foot youth center. We have mental health programs, entrepreneurship, career development, job placement, and we are one of the community-based organizations well equipped to deal with these youth. We go with them to their probation hearings. But I also want to say that I agree with the person that said that the probation department should be mandated to implement the POC directives. I also think that the judge is not already aware of the POC set of recommendations.
Thank you. Next speaker,
that
please.
the judge is aware of that.
Next speaker, please.
Zoe Wilson, your line is open. You may begin.
Zoe,
Yes, this is Zoe Ross. Yes,
go ahead.
this is Zoe Rawson. Can you hear me?
Yes,
This is
go ahead.
Zoe.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm the coordinator of the Zero Now project, and our express purpose is to organize the community organizations that provide care, and we're organized and coordinated. We're ready to receive the Girls and Gender Expansive Youth Home. The solutions do exist in this room. 5 years ago, the reason that there was no change, or the reasoning, was that advocates complained, but they didn't offer solutions. The solution is here. It's now. It's ready. It's already being implemented. Please turn to us. We are able to coordinate ourselves. We're able to work collaboratively with system partners that are aligned in preventing
Thank you. Next speaker,
more
please.
harm. And in
Justin Marks, your line is open. You may begin.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Justin Andrew Marks, and I'm calling in strong support of the Probation Oversight Commission's recommendation under item 23. The POC offers the only credible short-term plan for Los Padrinos. It's grounded in community wisdom, care teams, and real decarceration. Their recommendations could safely reduce the population by 35%, nearly 100 youth immediately. Meanwhile, the department's rushed 30-day plan relies on failed tactics, ignored staffing realities, and risks more legal harm by moving youth into facilities already deemed unsuitable. As Kendrick Lamar said, if I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? Our youth can't bloom under punishment and neglect. They need light, community, healing, and dignity. Stop cowering to the politics that allows Villaraigosa to dictate what you all do. You know that it's failed. You know that there's alternatives. Move with courage and responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now go back to in-person speakers. First speaker, please begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Bert Cole, credible messenger with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, in favor of item number 23. I work at the Camp Kilpatrick facility, which has been affected with this depopulation plan of depopulating Los Padrinos. I would just like to say that Camp Kilpatrick has been, up to this point, has been the ideal model. And it's really been discouraging to think that it may be uprooted. These young men have come a long way. They've worked hard to get where they're at. And kudos to Camp Kilpatrick, the Director Davis, and the probation staff there, because they've done a wonderful plan. They've done a wonderful thing in terms of implementing the idea of family and community. And in doing so, I've witnessed young men there gain self-esteem and supportive relationships amongst each other.
Thank
So I would
you.
think
Next
I would
speaker,
ask-
please.
My name is Alicia Bridgeforth. I work with Anti-Recidivism Coalition as a credible messenger. I work closely with the youth inside and out. I'm here to speak on the favor of this motion, and I'm going to read a letter from a youth from CVK. CVK has offered us a place to cognitive particular interest for our futures. It has given us both time and space for which we have made strides in the development and discovery of ourselves. We're plant with the time of reflections on our past and aspirations for our future. Some have remarked on sustainable pursuit of educational goals, others the expression of their stories through an avenue of musical engineering production. Still others opt for rehabilitative, redemptive career in one of our various trades, all only result of CVK being available for one to direct on self towards while in SYTF at BJN. While one is detained at BJN, the future is anticipated eagerly and hopefully when considered the potential of being transferred to CVK.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
My name is Frankie Lozano. I'm a credible messenger from Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I'm in favor of Agenda 23, but it's one thing that you said, Mrs. I don't want to get your name wrong, Horvath? You said on Monday to the women at LACTC that you were proud of them for the commitment. When you stood up there and you told these women that they were proud of commitment, me and my teammates and our credible messenger at ARC were proud of these men, because I work at Barry J, when they get transferred to CVK, where they're committed, where they stop, where they're internalizing the groups that we're teaching them, where they're internalizing, and not only that, they're also applying it to them. But it's one thing that I took from that. It's like, man, I go back to Barry J and tell these men, the goal is to get here. The goal is to internalize it. The goal is to understand the ripple effect that we've caused, or you guys caused, the community, so you can be released. And I just want to say thank you very much for that, for what you told the women at LACTC, and we brought that to Barry J.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Jaime Rojas. I'm with ARC, Credible Messenger. I've been working with the youth for a couple of years already, and I've been going to CBK and Barry J. I've been working very closely with them, and I see the growth in them on a daily basis. I see the efforts that they put in a lot of the studies, their curriculum that we teach them in there, and the incentives, they take it real serious. At first it takes a little while, but once they grasp it, they actually internalize it and exercise it. And it's very good to see that they work towards something and to get it. And now it's something that it seems that is going to go ahead and retract them and make them to go back and resort to wherever they were going. And that's one of the things that we're trying to avoid here, is to reward them and not punish them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Jessica Solis. I am in support of agenda item number 23. I'm a life coach with Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I believe we should first find solutions for the youth to be released back to our community or stay in Dorothy Kirby, not Camp Kilpatrick. I urge the Board of Supervisors for immediately safe release of eligible youth through rapid and thorough reassessments of detention recommendations. I understand the fear these youth are experiencing due to my own experience being a 13-year-old that was incarcerated at Los Padrinos. I believe this is a crucial moment for these youth. I am urging the board to take in consideration that they deserve compassion and support with rehabilitation, education, and support groups, which I believe they will receive at Dorothy Kirby Center. I believe it will be unnecessary and potentially harmful to relocate them to Camp Kilpatrick. This will allow for the continued successful use of Kilpatrick as the SYTF step-down facility for the young men who are learning to be responsible young adults. I approve the motion and fully adopt the POC recommendations to depopulate Los Padrinos. Please vote yes.
Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is George Garcia, a Free LA student and a Lobos Fellow. Today I stand before you to advocate for a crucial shift in our budgeting priorities here in Los Angeles County. You must redirect your investments from harmful initiatives towards youth. What I mean is probation and foster care. First, you guys need to invest in youth and defund probation due to misuse of their funds and control what's going on behind closed doors. What I mean is LP, because a lot of our youth are being harmed in gladiator fights and all that. And second, to continually stop hurting our youth, whether it's probation or foster care, because over 6,500 claims have been issued for young women who have been sexually abused inside of foster care facilities. Like, isn't it y'all job to keep them safe? and have them in a safe environment. Using our tax dollars towards harm, we need a change and better support for our youth, especially for our future. Invest money into our youth so we can create fundamental programs and facilities where youth can be.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Michael Arregue. I am a credible messenger with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition assigned to Campus Kilpatrick. So I'm here today to advocate on my youth that I mentor and to be a voice for them today. A lot has been said about Campus Kilpatrick, and they are worried now that they will be moved, that their programming will be disrupted, that all their hopes and everything that they have achieved will be taken away. And it's why, when we're doing so good, why are we going to be punished? So I am here today to ask that please, you do not disrupt these young men's program and lives that they are living now that they want to continue to be. Do not take that hope away, because the lights that they do have now can be diminished, and the ones that lights are barely dim can be extinguished, especially for those who are waiting to get to Kilpatrick. So please do not disrupt this and do not move them from Camp Kilpatrick. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Julio Falcon. I'm with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I am a credible messenger. I work 5 days a week in SYTF, and I am assigned to Unit RS, which is the unit, which is, they go through stages. Once they do a lot of groups, they stage up, right? Meaning, so they've been working hard at what they do. Every day that they're there, they're programming, they're doing things in order to stage up, right? So now that the talk is being that they're gonna remove CVK from them, it's like, what else do they have now? What's the incentive, right? So me personally, when I speak to them every day, just hearing this from them, it's like, what am I gonna do now, right? What are we gonna get next? What's going on? So I believe that shutting Camp Kilpatrick, it's not conducive to their rehabilitation, their efforts, and it does not give them a sense of responsibility and trying to do the right thing always. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Lupita, and I'm here on behalf of Sister Warriors Freedom Coalition to demand that the board honor its 2021 commitment to decarcerate girls and gender-expansive youth. Right now, 50 girls and gender-expansive youth are still locked up at Los Padrinos, a facility that state demanded unfit back in December. A judge has ordered depopulation plan, and 99% of these youth are eligible for release. The only reason they're still there is the lack of placement. That's not justice, it's neglect. Probation, which is just settled a $4 billion lawsuit for child abuse, cannot be trusted. Moving these youth to Camp Kilpatrick in Malibu will isolate and re-traumatize them. But we have alternatives, community-led programs like Young Women's Freedom Center and Beloved Village are ready now. Family finding, rapid release, and home-based placements are real and working. This vote is a test. Will you keep your word or break it? Approve the motion, adopt the POC recommendation, depopulate Los Padrinos, and free the 50.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kaylee Matthews. I'm a formerly incarcerated youth and a fellow with the Young Women's Freedom Center. I believe the immediate release of the 50 girls, including gender-expansive youth and currently incarcerated at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall, but I'm here to urge at the Board of Supervisors to support item 23 in the POCS recommendation. Los Padrinos has a long and troubling history of abuse and neglect. Reopening it to hold vulnerable youth, and especially girls and gender-expansive youth, only causes harm. Incarceration is not care, and these young people are often survivors of trauma like myself. System neglect and locking them up only makes things worse. They need real support, not cells, and I'm calling for their release back into our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Natalie Segura. I'm with the Youth Justice Coalition. I'm a Free LA student and a Lobo Fellow. The Youth Justice Coalition works to build an abolition youth-led movement to end police terror, mass incarcerations, and criminalization of youth. Today, I'm sharing my thoughts on the recommended budget. I'm here to urge the Board of Supervisors to prioritize a Care First, jail's last budget, provide meaningful investment in Yes Care teams to provide girls and gender-expansive youth with wraparound support. Youth need education, mental health resources, career pathways, affordable housing, funding for their needs. This is important because these young people are asking for their needs to be met. If you ask every young person in our community what will they do with $4 billion, they will tell you they will invest that money in their community to meet their needs and the resources that we're asking for. Please invest in the Youth Justice Reimagine, shutting down these facilities that are destroying our youth when you set the 2025 and 2026 budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Luis. I'm here with ARC, Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I believe in keeping young people at Camp Kilpatrick, moving young people out of Kilpatrick, and Dorothy breaks the relationship they build with. Man, you got this, bro. You got it.
You're good.
Yeah,
We get it.
I support item 23.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
Kent.
you.
Hands up. Good job, Kent.
I'll take his 20 minutes, seconds. No, I'm just playing. On behalf of the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, we are in support of item 23. Thank you, Supervisor Helo Solis and Holly Mitchell for these motions. We're also concerned regarding the potential relocation of young people out of Campus Kilpatrick to Virgin Junior Hall and young people from Kirby to CVK. These relocations are not only counteractive to the county's commitment to care first and caring for the constituents, incarcerated constituents, but it is also going to result in the disruption of youth rehabilitation journeys and the ability for staff to do their job. I think this is something that we are strongly opposed. We know that when you move people around, staff, you create a hostile environment for both staff and the youth, and that's the last thing we want. We already have a crisis in Lake County. We don't want to further expand that crisis. So please, let's not move youth around, and please also have a more transparent process in all of this. This is the first time in the 10 years that I've been doing this work that I feel that there hasn't been an honest, transparent process in the county of LA. And we have a progressive body. Let's do better.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello. Hello? Okay. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Hines. I work for Youth Justice Coalition as the Youth Development Coordinator. I've been coming down here time and time again with POC recommendations, BSCC recommendations for shutting down Los Padrinos. Since 1959, they've been dealing with cases. Apparently, they're not suitable to deal with our young folks. They're coming home more harmed than they are rehabilitated. We, as the community, are constantly coming up here telling you that we are the ones that can rehabilitate them because we understand them. We are not afraid of them. We are able to meet their needs and meet them where they're at. So please, we ask for you to return them to their communities where we are prepared to receive them with open arms and with the love, care, and support and resources that they need. And if the county, with as big of a budget as it has, can't provide these resources, then it might be time to reallocate those funds to where it can be used
Thank
properly.
you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. My name is Megan Castillo. I'm with the Reimagine LA Coalition, and I strongly support and underscore everything these young folks have uplifted thus far. I'm asking the board to stop the transfer of the youth to Malibu. The state already said Los Padrinos isn't safe, and the judge has ordered it to be emptied. Almost every single person there is cleared for release, but they're still locked up just because there aren't placements ready. Probation, the same department that has had a settlement of $4 billion lawsuit over child abuse, wants to move them again and have them in their care. That doesn't even make sense. So that would mean pulling them even further from their families and communities and putting them right back into a system that has already hurt them. This doesn't have to happen. There are real options now, community-based programs like folks who are in this room who are doing the real work, and supporting rapid release didn't exist when you voted in 2021, but it does exist now. So please support that work and support the community-based organizations that are present. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, in order to finish today's meeting and address all remaining agenda items, the public comment has ended. Item 23, as revised, is before you.
All right, moved by Supervisor Hahn, seconded by Supervisor Horvath. Huh?
How is it revised?
Oh.
I didn't hear, did you say revised?
Said as revised.
Oh, I didn't hear you say
my-
revised.
Oh, my apologies.
Thank you for catching that,
Thank you.
Supervisor Hahn. Although we can
I know
revise
it's
it
your
if you want.
motion over there, but I caught it.
Well, no, I mean, so Yeah, no,
That was revised to add a co-author?
that was on the green sheet, wasn't it? All right,
Yeah, that's,
Just wanted to make sure there was
executive
nothing else
officer,
in
what are we
there.
voting on?
item number 23 as revised. Supervisor Solis?
Aye.
Supervisor Solis, aye. Supervisor Mitchell?
Aye.
Supervisor Mitchell, aye. Supervisor Horvath?
Aye.
Supervisor Horvath, aye. Supervisor Hahn?
Aye.
Supervisor Hahn, aye. Supervisor Barger?
Aye.